Hello, everybody. My name is Ashley Diaz, and today I will be discussing with you my PowerPoint on developing Base 10 concepts. Grouping activities. In this section, we will learn base concepts or groupings by 10, grouping by tens. Children can experiment with showing amounts in groups and coming to the consensus that 10 is a very useful size to use. A question that is asked is, why is activity 11.1 recommended as a starting point? Activity 11.1 is counting in groups. This can be seen as the starting point for developing base 10 concepts because it shows children the one-to-one correspondence can translate to 10 groups, counting in groups of 10. So for this activity, you will count a set of items. I chose a box of crayons that have 24 crayons inside them. We will use a box of crayons today and count how many crayons it has. As we count them one by one, think of another way we can count them. Another way can be counting by twos. So instead of using ones, we can try counting by twos. You can get crayons and group them by twos until you have all the crayons in the box grouped together. Then you will be counting 2, 4, 6, 8, and etc. But there probably is a more easier way to group the box of crayons, which we will find out. What if we grouped them by tens? So if we got 10 crayons and put them in one group, like here on the left side, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then we made another group with 10 more. We would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We would have two groups of 10. And then we would have the 4 single crayons. Then we would have 1, 2 groups of 10, and 4 singles. We'll pretend 4 crayons are over here on the side, or maybe back in the crayon box. For activity 11.2, it was groups of 10. In this activity, you will receive a bag filled with different items. You will count the items in the bag, sort them into groups of 10, and record it onto your worksheet. So this is a great activity to do with younger children because they can put the items in the bag themselves, or you can have bags for each student or pairs of students with items inside. That can be counters, marbles, or other small objects. If you want to do a seasons related or like a really cute idea, then you can do leaves or acorns, something of that sort. So they'll have their bags filled with their small items inside. And the first worksheet is to help them categorize. So if you were to give them, say, the beans, they would have the bag of beans. They would take them out and count them. At the beginning, you might have them count them by ones. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then since we're practicing counting and grouping by tens, you can have the students take out 10 beans, make a small group or pile, and then start another group of 10 until they don't have enough beans to make 10. So then, say there was 35 beans, they would have 3 groups of 10, and then that's what they will write over here in the box, 3 tens, and then they'll have the 5 single beans, and they'll write 5 here. And then in this middle section, they can practice writing 35. So I really like that first worksheet. And then the second worksheet's really good. So they can sort the beans by putting them on the graph, and each box has 10 slots. They can put the bean on each box, and then that equals 10. This one equals another 10, so they can do 10, 20, 30, 40, because this example says 47 beans. Then they'll have 7 single beans to put here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is a better way to organize the beans. They can see it in front of them, having the little graphs. Then down here, they can do the same, where they write how many tens, how many singles. They would write 4 tens because they had the 4 groups, and then 7 singles. And then down here, these 2 worksheets have dots. And you can get to that a little bit later, but they're like groups. You could do groups of 10 with those dots as well. But I find that the first two worksheets are a lot more easier to understand and work with. So after counting the items, write the number on the worksheet. Then write how many tens there were and how many singles. Then last, we have activity 11.3, estimating groups of tens and ones. Students will estimate how many items will equal a length given. So for the example I have here on the right, I have a ruler, and a ruler has 12 inches. So you can ask the student, how many marbles do you think we will need to equal this ruler? And then they can guess. Which another question is, in this activity 11.3, what is the reason for students to estimate first? When they estimate first, they can compare what they estimated and the result. When they actually work out the problem, they can compare and they can see, did I estimate close to the result? Was I far off? And then next time they might get better at estimating. So this example, we'll go ahead and count the marbles. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are six marbles is about the same length of this ruler. The students will measure something in the room and then will figure out how many counters or items can fit the length. The students will record the number of counters used to fit the length. In the book, they had an example that the students can use the side of their desk and they can estimate how many marbles will fit, or how many counters will fit against the side of my desk. And then they can have the actual manipulatives on their desk and go ahead and start lining them up against the desk, and then see how many counters fit along the length of their desk. That's one way that each student can do this activity. And that is the last activity from this section. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation.